Guys, Mr. Gucci here, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to walk through problems number 19 to 32 on the 3.1 homework. These are where you have to fill in the blanks regarding some information about the atomic symbol of different atoms. Remember, the atomic symbol, okay, let me blow this up so you can see. The atomic symbol is a symbol that incorporates all the most important information about an atom, okay? In the middle, is its element symbol. It's element that you will find on the periodic table. All right, this number right here on the bottom left, this is its atomic number. That's the number of protons that it has. This upper left number here, that is the mass number. That is its protons plus its neutrons. And this number in the upper right, that is the charge. That represents the imbalance of protons and electrons, okay? You can either find it by using this formula right here, protons minus electrons equals charge, or you can use this as a comparison with the number of protons that you have. Okay, so for example, the charge on this atom is 2 minus. That means it has 2 more electrons than it has protons. It has 2 more electrons than protons. So if you have 8 protons, you're going to have 2 more electrons than you have protons. You are going to have 10 electrons. And that's how this would work, okay? So your job is to fill in the blank in this chart. Let's do this first one again, okay? So here is your atomic symbol. Here's your atomic symbol for number 1, okay? Now, what can we pick apart from this? Well, first of all, we know the element name is oxygen. We know because of that O there, all right, symbol O, okay? And by the way, probably as you do this, you should have up a copy of the periodic table. I recommend going to ptable.com, okay, where you can see, oh, okay, element O is oxygen. So again, I recommend you have a periodic table available as you do this homework, okay? So let's take a look here. Let's take a look at the next one. Okay, so here we go. Here we go. We'll close some stuff down. I'm going to clear up my desktop a bit. Don't save. I don't care. All right. So the number of protons in this atom is, let's see, the number of protons, well, that bottom left number is the number of protons. This right here is the number of protons. So we have 8 protons. All right. How many neutrons do we have? Well, we know that the mass here is 16. And the mass number equals protons plus neutrons. So we have 8 protons. 8 plus what equals 16? 8 plus what equals 16? Well, we can go to 16. We can subtract 8 from it. And what we get is that there are 8 neutrons in this atom. And you can go back and you can check, right? Protons plus neutrons will get you the mass. 8 plus 8 gets you the mass number. Great. Okay, so now you filled in these two. The last one is the electrons. Okay, now once again, we see that the charge here in the upper corner, this charge represents the imbalance of protons and electrons. It's negative, so it has two more electrons. All right? It has 2 more electrons. So if we have 8 protons and we have 2 more electrons, then this is 10 electrons. Okay, there we go. That's the first one. Let's do another one, okay? I'm going to skip ones that are directly on the homework, and I'm going to focus on some other ones. Okay, let's do this one, number 4 here, okay? Number 4. So first of all, what element is this, right? Element S, I go to the periodic table, and I see, element S is sulfur. Sulfur. So this element right here is sulfur. Okay. How many protons? Oopsie, I wrote in the wrong spot. Sulfur. Okay. How many protons does it have? Well, it says right here in the lower corner that this thing has 16 protons. You can also know that just by knowing that it's sulfur. All right, sulfur is element 16 on the periodic table, which means that it has 16 protons, okay? How many neutrons does it have? Well, we know that this upper left number right here, this upper left number, is the number, is the mass, okay? The mass, which is the protons plus the neutrons. So it says here the mass is 36, and that is the protons plus the neutrons. All right, so the mass is 36, and we know, 32, and we know that that is the protons, which there's 16 of, plus the neutrons, which we don't know. All right, so what number does the number of neutrons needs to be? It needs to be 16. All right, because 16 protons plus 16 neutrons gets us a mass of 32. Okay, cool. So there we go. We got that one. Lastly, we have the number of electrons. All right, how do we figure that out? Well, the charge of this atom is 2 minus, which means it's minus, so it has more electrons. All right, it is 2 minus, so that means that it has 2 more electrons than it has protons. Okay, if we've got 16 protons, then we've got 2 more electrons than that. We have 18 electrons. Okay, let's try another one. Let's do this neon right here. Let's do, actually, oh, no, you have that neon on your sheet. Okay, instead, let us do number 6. Here we go. So what is this element right here? This is element I. So I'm going to find it on the periodic table. And if I have trouble finding it, keep in mind it's element 53. So let me take a look. Periodic table. Here we go. It is iodine. All right, this is iodine, element I. So I'm going to just go here, and I'm going to write down iodine. Oh, my phone, be quiet. I'm not asking you questions. Go away. Okay. Next up, what's the number of protons? This thing messed up. What's the number of protons in this atom? Well, it tells us right here with the atomic number 53. That is the number of protons. So this atom has 53 protons. How many neutrons does it have? Well, we know that the mass is 127, all right? And that this mass is equal to the protons plus the neutrons, all right? So 127 equals the protons plus the neutrons. We know that there's 53 protons. So 53 plus what gives us the number of neutrons? I'm going to subtract 53 from both sides. Okay? You could be doing this work on a separate sheet, right, if you want, and then just checking your answer. Okay, so my mental math is kind of bad. 127 minus 53. We get that there are 74 neutrons. 74 neutrons. Okay, great. Next, the charge on this atom is -1. It has a -1 charge. So that -1 means that it has one more electron than it does protons. However many protons there are, there's one more electron. So if we've got 53 protons, one more is 54 electrons. Okay, guys, we're getting the hang of this. That's good. Okay, that's good. Let's try another one. Let's try another one that's not on your homework. Okay, let us try number 10. Okay, here we go. So this is element C. I don't even think we need to look this up. This is carbon. Element C on the periodic table, element number 6 is carbon. How many protons does this atom have? This atom has 6 protons. It has 6 protons because it is element number 6. That means it has 6 protons. Now, how many neutrons does it have? Well, we know that the mass is 12. The mass is 12. And we know that the mass is the protons plus the neutrons. So 12 equals 6 plus the number of neutrons. All right. So 6 plus what equals 12? I think that's pretty straightforward. 6. All right. And again, you can go back and check your answer. Add the protons and the neutrons together, and you should get that number in the upper left, the mass number. All right. Lastly, let's figure out how many electrons there are. This atom has a -4 charge, a 4 minus charge, and that means that it has 4 more electrons than it has protons. It has 4 more electrons than it has protons. So if it has 6 protons, it has got 4 more electrons than that. So 4 more than 6 is 10. There are 10 electrons. So there we go, guys. That's a pretty good sample of the kind of problems you're going to encounter on your homework. Let's try some of these problems where we're going the other way, okay? The other way. Let's take a look. Okay, so I've made your homework so you can just fill these items in on an element symbol, or if you just click and erase the line and then type in a number instead. It should hopefully work out. In this case here, though, I'm going to draw my answers in. Okay, so we need to figure out what is the name of this element right here. Let's do number 11. So what is the name of this element? Well, this is going to be a very important column right here. It has 12 protons. 12 protons. Now, that is the atomic number. 12 is the number also of that element on the periodic table. So if I pull up the periodic table and look at element 12, aha, it is magnesium. The element is element 12, magnesium. All right, so this element is magnesium. All right, now let's write the symbol. Okay, I'm going to put the element symbol in the middle, Mg. All right, the easiest number to write in is the atomic number on the lower left. Okay, the atomic number down here in the lower left is just its number of protons, so that is 12. Okay, the number on the upper left is its mass number. All right, that's equal to its protons plus its neutrons. So protons plus neutrons, that's 12 plus 12. The mass number here is 24. Okay, lastly, what is the charge? What is that thing that goes in the upper right corner? Well, that is the imbalance of protons and electrons. Now we see we have 12 protons, and we have also 12 electrons. They're the same. There's no imbalance. So in this case, you could put a 0, but in most cases, when there's no charge, scientists will just leave it blank. Okay, so you can either put a 0 there, but really you should put nothing. You should leave it blank. Okay, let's try another one. Let's do number 15. Let's do number 15, okay? So, number 15, we need to identify what element this is. What is the name of this element? Well, it's element number 19. The number of protons is its number on the periodic table. So I'm going to go to the periodic table and look up element number 19. Element number 19 is potassium. Potassium, symbol K. All right, so this is potassium. And I might as well just put down the symbol is capital K. All right, good. Now we got to fill in this atomic symbol over here. The easiest number is the number on the lower left, okay? That is its number of protons, its atomic number. So we're just going to put 19 here, okay? The number on the upper left, all right, is its mass number. That's its protons plus its neutrons. So 19 plus 20, this atom has a mass of 39 AMU. Okay, lastly, What is the charge? What is the charge? The charge is the imbalance of protons versus electrons. So let's look. Here's our protons. We got 19. Here's our electrons. We have 18. What do we have more of? Protons or electrons? We have more protons. So this is going to be a positive atom. How many more protons do we have compared to electrons? We have one more proton than we do electrons. So this atom would have a 1 plus charge because it has one more proton than it has electrons. You could also just write this charge as a plus, all right? A plus here means the same thing as a single positive charge. So if you want to write 1 plus, or you just want to write plus, that's fine. Okay, let's do another one down here. Let's do another one. Let's see here, ones that aren't on the sheet. Let's do number 19. That's a tricky one. Number 19. Okay, so what is the name of this element? Well, once again, it seems like the most important column to start with is the protons. This atom has 56 protons, and so it is element number 56 on the periodic table. If I pull it up, element 56 is barium. Barium is element 56. Okay, so I can go here and I can say, all right, this is barium. And I might as well just put in here that the symbol is Ba. Okay, now to start filling in the blanks. The number in the lower left is always the atomic number. That's just the number of protons. So I can just write 56. In fact, this lower left number is so common, it'll oftentimes just not even be written. Because if you know it's barium, you know it's element 56 already. And so you know what number of protons it has. Okay? Next up, what is the mass number? The one in the upper left. Well, it's equal to the protons plus the neutrons. So 56 plus 81. 56 plus 81 equals 137. So the mass number is 137. Okay, great. Lastly, the charge. The charge. Okay, the charge in the upper right. The charge, again, is about the imbalance of protons and electrons. What do we have more here? Do we have more protons or do we have more electrons? We have more protons. Okay, so this is going to be a positive atom. How many more protons do we have than electrons? Well, 56 versus 54. We have 2 more protons than electrons, so the charge here is 2 positive. Okay, the charge is 2 plus. All right, so now, folks, now we start getting into problems down here that are a little bit trickier. I didn't give you too many of these problems on your homework. I only gave you 4, but this is kind of like a fill in the blank here. I give you just enough information that you need to try and solve this problem. So let's give it a shot. Okay, let's take a look at this one. Can we fill in all the blanks in number 22? Well, we know that the element is iron. All right, and so because we know it's iron, we can look up its number on the periodic table, and that's how many protons it has. Iron is element Fe, and element Fe is right here. Element Fe with 26 protons. So I know how many protons it is. If I know the name of this atom, I know how many protons it has because I know its number on the periodic table. Alternately, again, if I know the number of protons that it has, then I know what name it is. Okay, so here we go. This is iron, symbol Fe. I know that it has 26 protons. All right. I know that its mass number is protons plus neutrons, so 26 plus 36 is 62. And I know its charge is the imbalance of protons and electrons. So let me compare You got 26 protons and 23 electrons, okay? We have more protons. How many more protons? We have 3 more protons than we do electrons. So this iron has a 3 plus charge. Let's try another one. Let me take a look at number 26. Number 26. Let's see if we can fill in all the blanks, including the blanks on the atomic symbol over here. Let's see if we can do that. So here's all the blanks that we have to fill out, okay? So let's see if we can do that. Now, the first thing I want to do is I want to try and figure out how many protons there are. That always is like the most important thing. You can't figure out anything else unless you know the number of protons. Fortunately, it gives us the atomic number right here, all right, which is its number of protons. This thing has 80 protons. Great, okay? That also tells us what element it is. It's element number 80. So element 80 is Hg, mercury. Element 80 is mercury. So I'm going to just put that in. It's mercury, and it is element Hg. All right, now let's fill in the rest. The mass number in the upper left here is protons plus neutrons. 80 plus 121, 80 protons and 121 neutrons. That is a mass of 201. It's a mass of 201. All right. Lastly, we need to look at the charge. This atom has 80 protons and 79 electrons. So what do we have more of? Protons or electrons? We have more protons, so it's going to be positive. How many more protons do we have? We have one more proton than electron. 80 is one more than 79, so this guy is going to be one positive, or just a plus sign. Okay? Let's try and figure out, number 28. This is tricky. Number 28 is tricky. Let's try number 28. Okay? My first goal in number 28 is to figure out how many protons there are. That's always the most important thing to figure out. Now I know that this is P, phosphorus. If I can find P on the periodic table, then I know its atomic number, and so I can figure out what number of protons it has. So let me take a look. P. It's, here we are. Phosphorus is element P, and it is element number 15. So I can both write down, I can fill a lot in with this actually. All right, I know it's phosphorus. Good. I know it's element 15. Okay? And since I know that, I can also fill in the atomic number, which is the same. Okay? Lastly, the last thing here I need to figure out is how many neutrons does it have? Well, I can see that this thing has a mass number of 32. All right? A mass number of 32. And I also know that the mass is equal to the protons plus the neutrons. So 32 equals 15 plus the neutrons. There are 17 neutrons. All right, you can check this. Add your protons and your neutrons together, and you should get this mass number in the upper left. Yes, 15 plus 17 equals 32. All right, lastly, the charge. What do we have more of here? Do we have more protons or more electrons? Well, we can see that we have more electrons. This is going to be a negatively charged atom. What more? We know that we have 3 more electrons than protons. 18 is 3 more than 15. So this is going to be a 3 minus atom. Okay, it's going to be a 3 minus. So there we go. We have solved that one. Let me do, are there any more that I should do? I think that's good, okay? This is a tricky one, all right? These are like puzzles, guys. You should think of these problems as puzzles, okay? Think of them as puzzles like a Sudoku where you're trying to fill in the blank and solve for the unknowns, all right? So that's it, guys. If you have any questions, please let me know and I'll be glad to help, all right? Good luck.